These old Ninjas, and this one that I have, 35 years old, I have two of them. They are great little bikes. They're kind of a hidden secret, a well-kept secret. They make great track bikes. I have really enjoyed having mine on a track many years, and I enjoy riding it on the street, of course. They're relatively inexpensive. They're as reliable as a refrigerator, and they're just so much fun to ride, even after 35 years. And you can join us on this ride in full 4K. Just adjust your device. Realistically, this is probably the best riding month, maybe month before it, the month after, but we are right in the peak of beautiful weather. It's a little bit cool in the morning. It really never gets too hot by the afternoon, so far anyway. And the leaves are starting to change a little bit. Everything is just couldn't be nicer. Anyway, hope you'll just join us on this ride. We have to do a little maintenance on the bike, the chain, before we head out, but we're going to be out early and get back early while we can take advantage of this beautiful, beautiful day. Now, when a bike is 35 years old, when it's 5 years old, it's a good idea to check things. And in this case, every time I clean the chain, and I'm using diesel fuel to clean it and a clean rag, which is now you throw it away, or else your whole shop smells like diesel fuel. Anyway, when I polished that swing arm many, many years ago, I know that video has over 100,000 hits now. I guess a lot of people have seen it. I like to keep the back, by the back wheel, by the swing arm, the sprocket clean. This bike has an air shock, so and that's how they came standard, maintaining it and checking it with the accurate gauge. Always part of every pre-flight for this bike. Air in the tires, and once we get that done, we'll be pretty much on the way out the door. But old bikes, I like to just grab everything, move it around, shake it around. I like to, every once in a while, I take the seat off and just clean under there. The dust gets under there, dust, all the little stuff that I just look around for something that looks like it might be loose or rubbing. Feeding the fish, super, super important. Pick a few flowers for Karen. Make sure the latest weather is that we're not going to be in the middle of a giant thunderstorm or a tornado, and we're out the door. So I do have two of these in my collection, and the first one I got, I just used it for a track bike. I never registered it, never did anything with it, and it ran so good on the track. I enjoyed the handling. I enjoyed the fact it feels lightweight. You sit nice and low. I can put both my feet on the ground. It's a great bike for somebody with short legs or somebody that's not tall. And when I got the second one, there's a long story for that. Luciano found it in a pretty seedy area of the world, and we went over there like we were in the mafia. We got it out of a container that was supposed to be on a container ship going to South America or something. It's a long story. We're going to tell it somewhere in the future. And I know Luciano will never forget that day that we picked it up. There was ice and snow on the ground. We couldn't even push it up the hill to where Luciano's truck was, but the guy that was selling it, he had a bunch of friends, and they came and they just picked it up off the ground and put it in the back of Luciano's truck in a snowstorm. So one thing that's really nice about this bike, and I do appreciate it, even when you're just cruising and relaxing in these open areas, bike is super, super comfortable. And the bottom line for me, with any bike in my collection, does it suit my needs? Is it comfortable to ride? Is it reliable? Is it something that I'm going to enjoy year after year after year? Because I don't buy and sell bikes. I buy them, add them to my collection, and keep them. And this bike fits the bill in every way you can measure it. It's been a good addition to the collection. And the sound going through the gears. When you got the road open in front of you and you can just hold the throttle wide open and go through the gears, it's the sound of an Indy car. There's no other way I know to put it. And from the bike, it sounds even better than video. Now, I made a lot of unique parts for this bike, including the tail tidy and including that tail section that originally had the tail light in it. Now, I like to buy a bike that hopefully has, when you get it, if you have a decent engine and the bike has not been in a terrible accident and doesn't have bent rims. And from that point on, I like to spend a winter or even more doing my own custom restoration, making some carbon fiber parts, finding out if there's anything I need to replace or modify. In this case, I made that tail section and the Muzzy muffler. Luciano gave me that Muzzy muffler. And I just like the idea that at the end of this restoration process, I painted it with Camaro green. And at the end of the process, I have a motorcycle that suits my needs perfectly. I don't have $50,000 invested, and I'm going to keep it the rest of my life. And when I recovered the seat, I even put that badging on with my computer-generated sewing machine that I have. Now, this is the one scenario you always have to watch out for. The landscapers are out, and there's nowhere to pass on the other side, and there's a car coming the other way, and this can ruin your whole day, and it happens really, really quick. And that's why I have to really always be careful never to set the pace that I'm going around a blind corner, because you never know. And where I ride in this area, that is the one thing, except for deer, that can really, again, ruin your whole day. I laugh about it, but I always dream that so there's going to come a day when I'm going to drive right into the back of one of those landscaping vans and ruin a landscaper's whole day too. But right now it seems we've ducked another bullet. And the way this day played out, I just couldn't have expected it to be this nice. But again, we are, as I said in the beginning of the video, we are in the part of the year where it's really not too hot and not too cold. And oh boy, if you could put this in a bottle and sell it to people down south or up north, if you only knew how good it was today. Guy had something funny to say on the last time I rode this bike and led a group ride. He said he loves riding behind his bike. You can tell what gear I'm in. Can't do that on some of the bikes. But anyway, that is cool. And by the way, I always know what gear other people are in that have louder bikes. We'll not mention any names. And one thing this bike really does love is when you relax a little bit on the back roads, they're really nice and twisty. And we haven't gotten to the point where the wet leaves are everywhere on the road or the salt. We are just enjoying this day and taking a nice break here on the back roads. And to me, after 35 years, this bike is still, to me, a new bike. And it rides, it's nice and tight, and it handles well. And I just love the way it sounds. And a little benefit is, it doesn't need a lot of maintenance. It's not a high maintenance bike. It doesn't wear out tires prematurely. And those Pirelli Sport Demons, they seem to last pretty good. But this beautiful day went by too quick. It always seems like time flies when you're having a great time out on the open road. And it's time to get back. Karen's cooking up something there. I don't know, when I left the house, the oven was on. Let's see what she's got. Well, it was a beautiful fall ride in a beautiful part of the country. Oh man, on a beautiful day. Hope you enjoyed sharing this with us. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you did, and thank you so much for watching.